Yo, welcome to the Gift of Gab, where we talking about growth,
Accountability.
and balance. So today we talking about control. Control is the ability to have influence over yourself and people around you. You know what I mean? Dealing with the present and the future. So the first thing we're gonna talk about is dealing with your destiny, or your life purpose, or where you see yourself going in the future, and what type of control you have over that. So what do y'all think about that?
I personally think that you can have, when it comes to destiny, like you have all the amount of control you want. Now, what you do with that control, it's kind of like free will. What you do with that control, what you do with that free will, that's where it determines whether your destiny is going to be that of prosperous and abundance and fulfillment, or of a lower vibrational type of life you're going to live, whether that be poor or whatever. And you can say that that's just based off of priorities, but really and truly, there's some people who have their priorities straight and still vibrate at a low vibration. So it's like, I think control is really of the mind state. I think control is really the mind following the body. You know what I'm saying? Or the mind telling the body what to do, more or less. So you are the person that has the control to control what you want in this life, what you want to gain from this life with knowledge. You are the student of your destiny if you allow yourself to be the student instead of the professor, thinking that you know it all.
I like that.
You know what I'm saying?
How I see that, destiny and control, just simple. Just do what you gotta do to get where you wanna be. That's it. Like simple, black or white. Like in a sense of you want this, so go get it. Do what you gotta do to get it, but still hold, honor. It's like we said before, honor, respect, values, but don't slack on what you want out of life. In a sense of destiny aspect, like controlling destiny, know what you want. Just go get it.
Right, but in the same instance, it's like don't let that smother you either. To the point where you're losing yourself because you want your destiny so bad. You get what I'm saying? Because once you lose yourself, then
and that's what I was saying. Just have like those, values, honor, have your core characteristics still within you as you're moving forward.
right. But it's like not say but, because I'm trying to not use that word anymore. But
Not justified.
it's like you can still have those traditions in you, those values and stuff like that. But when we start, like, you used to have those values, but when we start letting things, like, you're gonna control whatever you want. You're gonna have those values, and you're gonna be set in yourself, right? But you also have to have a strong well-being so that you're not manipulating or letting other people manipulate or letting, you know what I'm saying? You can have those core values. Like, personally, like, I know somebody who had those type of values. They believed in honor and living up to the dad's name and stuff like that. But really and truly, that all came because he wanted to believe that he believed in those values, but really and truly, it was the dad putting those values set in him and manipulating him so that he felt like he had to keep going on with the family business when he really wanted to do something else. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like, you can have all this control and you can have all these set things, but it's like when you allow either somebody to come into that, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, yeah, manipulate you, but also kind of like, what I'm trying to say? Like, to manipulate you, yes. But it was right there, y'all. It was right there.
It's all in dealing with self, though, at the end of the day, because one's gonna influence the other. You see what I'm saying? So if you dealing and you just and true, and another individual that you know is dealing and they dealing in devilishment, if you decide to partake in their devilishment or deal with their trick knowledge, then that's on you, because you gave your power away and you allowed them to control you. Something I tell the youth all the time at the job, it's like, yo, when you let somebody take you to 212, that's the degree that water steam at. You giving your power away, so now somebody else is controlling you because you so angry and upset that you can no longer control yourself. You see what I'm saying?
I like that. I do like that. It's like, so what you're saying is like, stop letting people manipulate what you have control over. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because the only thing you really got in this world that you control over is what you create and yourself. You see what I'm saying? The original man is the maker and the owner. So whatever you make is what you have ownership over. Your business, you know what I mean, your finances, your children, you know what I mean, until they hit the age where they can think for themselves. But if it's not something that you have created, that's not something that you have ownership over. Even in the Bible, it talks about God gave Adam the gift or the ability to have dominion over the animals, to name the animals. So if you have ownership to name the animals, that means that you got ownership over the animals.
So you don't think that that was manipulation? You don't think that like that was a form of good manipulation? Like that was manipulative.
I don't know. I don't use the word manipulation like in a positive way because it just sounds like a bad word to me.
And that's,
you see what I'm saying?
Yo, but see, and what you saying that right there, cause it just triggered like a, I want to say like a trauma experience, but just an experience I had with a person, and it's like the perception of how you look at a word would dictate everything around that word. So like you said, you don't look at that word like that, but the word is that word. Like whether you like it's good or bad, like that's what that word is. Like I mean, so that's just your perception on like manipulation. Like that's all that is.
But no, because manipulation you have the control to control the words that you say, right?
Right, exactly.
So it's like if I say, "Oh, that's good manipulation," that means that just changed the root of the word of manipulation. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
Nah, because if I say that's a bad bitch, do that mean that like, you know what I mean?
Don't have nothing to do with manipulation though.
That don't have to, yeah.
But
Like,
it's the, what's it called? What is that shit called? The double entendre? What is that shit called, bro? That's not a double entendre.
Not with that, no.
but it's only good manipulation when it serves your destiny, yourself, whatever you got going on. You get what I'm saying? So really and truly, right? My mom's saying, yo, like, if you go to college, you won't have to pay for college, right? That's a good manipulation. Because that's like, dang, like, all right, now I should go to college because I don't got to worry about those bills. You know what I'm saying? I don't got to worry about that bill. But if she was just like, all right, now you turn 18, get out my house, and you know, like whatever the case, I don't know. That could be bad manipulation, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, or putting you in jeopardy so that it forces you
To manipulate.
You get what I'm saying? To be in a manipulative mindset, area, presence, anything. You get what I'm saying? But you have the control to change. That's what I'm saying. Like you have the control to change your outcome. You have the control to change how you view this world. You could view it in an optimistic way and go about and manipulate your friends, do whatever you gotta do, or you can manipulate them in a positive way because you also have a way to look at it in an optimistic way too.
In the sense of, and I'm gonna go right off of that. If I can see, well, like me personally, I can see some gifts in people, and if I know that they could be an asset to where I'm trying to go, but I'm still helping them too because I'm gonna bring them with me. I'm gonna manipulate them in a positive manner to show them the bigger picture of what can happen for the both of us. Yes, for me primarily, but I want you to come with me too in the same breath. Like, yo, bro, like genuinely, I want you to come with me. But it's a flip side of the coin too. I can do it in a bad way and just be like, oh, I'm gonna suck you dry, pause, and you're gonna help me do what I gotta do, and all right, bro, you good. I got all I got out of this situation. Like, I mean, so either I can help you and bring you with me, or I can use you in a manner and then be like, all right, next.
Right, exactly. Same thing with like relationships too, like how you get the person, how you get whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, but at the same time, that person has to have some type of control, you know what I'm saying?
In a relationship sense?
And all of it, I'm saying all of it, you know what I'm saying? Like you have to be willing to give up some type of control in order to be manipulated. You get what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like you have to give, like you have to lower, I don't want to say lower standard, maybe like lower the bar,
Right.
or
No, not lower.
Become
but
vulnerable
just
with a person, or
become vulnerable.
you know, what is that word?
Yeah.
You become submissive.
Yes, submissive. Yes, become submissive.
Because some people like the control aspect. Some people like that kind of energy, like being told what to do, or
Especially if you're dominant.
right. Some people like that aspect. Well, I don't know,
But shit,
Because
there's nothing
it's-
wrong with it.
but there's nothing
It's
wrong
wrong.
with it. But it get to a point where it could be like, are you crazy as hell? Like, why you like this shit? Like just that. I mean, that other side.
But it's because it's just like you're like, for me personally, I'm dominant like all the time. Like I'm dominant all the time. Like I want to be in control. I need to be in control.
But is that your security? You like you being in control, is that your security to know
That everything is
what's gonna happen how you want it to happen? So
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and that's what it is.
Why?
But why? Because like
It's because
I
of
just-
bullshit that niggas went through.
It could be the bullshit, but it's like, yeah, and it's just what you see, like, in my parent. Like, my mom is the breadwinner, my mom is the dominant one. Like, she always told us, like, never never have your boyfriend do whatever, say that you wouldn't have that if it wasn't for you. Always get money, make sure you always got this and da-da-da. So it's like, because of all that, all she was feeding me, it was like, okay, I'm gonna be on my dominant.
Your roots.
And yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's
But
like,
that's
okay, I'm gonna be on my dominant, and I'm gonna control every situation. You know what I'm saying? And that's what that was. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not saying it was a good thing, and I'm not saying it was a bad thing either.
Right.
But when it comes down to it, and I do get in a relationship, I try to be submissive, but it just doesn't work. Like I'm always the dude in the relationship. If that makes sense.
Do you attract those kind of men though? Like in the sense of like the control aspect. Not saying, let me not say this, but I'm gonna say it.
Okay, go ahead.
Do you not consciously look for weak men, but do weak men come to you?
Yes.
Okay.
Weak men come to me.
Because you like
Period.
control. But
Just
it's like,
because-
but it's like what you're saying is kind of a contradiction because
It is. Yeah.
weak men come to you, but you don't like weak men, but you
But
like being in control. Like,
It sounds like a mess, right? Because it is a mess. It's very much chaotic and very much why none of them last. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, I don't want to attract those men. No, I don't. But they come to me because they know that they can. They think that they can elevate themselves due to me being so dominant. Due to me being like going to spoil them, going to act like the man. You get what I'm saying?
But can I ask you
Where
this?
they can sit on their ass and do whatever the fuck they want to do. But I also feel as though, in the same instance, that dominant men don't like dominant women either.
It's all about a balance, though. Like, it all goes on what kind of dominant are you? Like, are you dominant in a control aspect? Are you dominant in a field where you like a field of your occupation? Like dominant how? Like
Okay.
there's all kinds of
Yes.
dominance.
So like me personally, like I'm dominant in the fact of I'm gonna get you off your ass, and I'm gonna make sure that you get off your ass. You get what I'm saying? And when you deal with a lazy mofo, like that's where you headbutt, cause they don't want to get off their ass. You get what I'm saying? Like if I'm with a dominant person, I'm gonna keep trying to elevate that person because that person can keep going further than where they are now. You get what I'm saying?
See, but look, see, but hear what you're saying. Like you pouring your water into that person, but it's like, why isn't that person where you're at that point? So that just goes back to like the weak man and the control thing. Is like you
I
like
don't
being
think that's
in control.
controlling though. Like in the aspect that I'm talking about, I don't think that that's controlling. With two dominant people and me trying to elevate you, that's not
Right.
controlling. You know what I'm saying? It becomes controlling when I say no.
You gotta want that though.
Right. And that's what it is. That's what it is with me. Because I just assume because I know that I want it, that you're gonna want it, and you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's where the issue comes in. You know what I'm saying? But it's like when it becomes controlling when I'm like, okay, no, you're not going out with your friends because you know you need to do this. Like, no, you're not doing that because you know. That's when it becomes controlling, when it's two dominant people. But if I'm just like, hey, like, you know, I think, or hey, I'm about to put in an application for you. Like, I feel like that's good manipulation. Like, I feel like that's good. I feel like that's a good way to control a person. Like, I'm not just saying you need to control a person. Like, you shouldn't be controlling. You shouldn't be training nobody. You're not nobody mama. You're not nobody daddy.
Facts.
You get what I'm saying?
Sometimes you do need to train motherfuckers.
No,
How you-
no.
okay,
Because then you
let me
need
hear
to be.
your point of view though.
Because at
Let me
the
hear
end of
you.
the day, that's the problem with individuals now is they feel like it's just gonna mesh like this. No, it's not gonna mesh like that. Everybody move a certain type of way. Everybody respond to different things different. So you could have an individual that's more sensitive than another individual that you dealt with. So yes, you gotta train individuals on how to treat you. Cause some people treat people good, some people treat people bad. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, that's different.
Some people, it's like this. For example, say you got one female or one male that you gotta be like, nigga, get your ass up and go get some money. Or you gotta be like, yo, get your ass up and go get a job to the female, right?
Mhm.
But another female, and they'll take that shit and eat it like, yeah, you know what I mean, whatever. Okay, fuck it, I gotta eat.
Mhm.
But the other female or other male will be sitting there like, you like, yo, nigga, get your ass up. Why do you gotta talk to me like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The female
No,
will start
right,
crying and shit.
right though.
So it's like, yo, at the
You're
end of the
right,
day,
you're right.
that comes from, yeah, you gotta train an individual that you in a relationship with, and they gotta train you on how to deal with you. Anything you do, even when you get a job, they train you for the job because they give you the information that you need to be successful in that career.
Okay, but as long as they're not controlling you, that's what that is. Like, yes, you can train for a job. Like, yes, I would expect you to. I'm gonna train you on my love language so that you know what I want when
Right.
I expect it. But when you start controlling it, like you don't go to your job and they be like, okay, like we're gonna do this and this and this. Like, no, then now you're controlling me. Like, I don't like that. I'm not gonna take that job. Like, you know what I'm saying? But when you're just like, okay, this is the roles. This is how you know what I'm saying? This is how you da 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 da. Like, now that's a training. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like degrees to where that shit can come back.
All in the words. That's all perception. Like it's all how you look at it. From what you just used as an example, that's only perception. Like on how, like, and this goes to what I was saying before, knowing how to talk to people. That's all that is. How you said, oh no, you're gonna do this like this, that to the third. It sounds like they talking at you. But when they're talking to you, it's more like, yo, this is how you do it, da 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 da. So it's all perception. Like for me, based on what you just said,
I
it's
see
just
it.
like a perceptional type
I
of
see,
thing.
like it's different. There's different degrees to control. See, it goes from the degree I was talking about, the training. I'm thinking training a self or control the self, and the degrees that you talking about is control of others and shit. You see what I'm saying? So I'm dealing with self, like, nah, yo, cause I'm right here. This, and this gotta come from right here. As you should be right here too. But an individual that got a controlling type of mind state, they want to be up here. They want you to be down there. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it shouldn't be like that, yo.
No, it shouldn't.
Equality.
It should be about equality. That's why a lot of people like in high school I just did not rock with because I could tell like I wasn't going for that shit. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of like let's say like the seniors, right? They would befriend the freshmen because they knew that they could control them and manipulate them and get them to do what they, and I wasn't on that. You know what I'm saying? If I couldn't rock with the freshman class, I wasn't rocking with the freshman class, but I was rocking with the you know what I'm saying, the senior class because now we're here. You know what I'm saying? That's not me controlling you. That's me knowing that you should be on the same mindset and wavelength that I'm on. You get what I'm saying?
I wouldn't say should, but I see where you was going with that. But just like you just would think that they wouldn't be there. But you know what I mean? Everybody's
their
own speed. Yeah, you know, everybody has their own
It's
speed.
even like little homie that used to be at Gateway and shit, and how they used to sit up there and manipulate and try to control him because he had a lack of understanding, and he wanted to fit in. So anything they told him to do, he was doing it.
Dummy missions.
You see what I'm saying?
Like,
But it take you to know yourself to know. You know what I'm
about to
saying?
say that.
Nah, I ain't going for that shit.
but you can't know yourself until you really know yourself. It's like you don't know until you know. I mean, and just even on the manipulation aspect and on the relationship aspect, I'm gonna put both of them together. Like, I used to be that manipulator just to get what I want. Like, it wasn't nothing like physical because that don't mean nothing to me. It was more on a material sense. Like, I'm gonna do this because I know you're gonna go do this. Like that was my mindset then. Like, and then my transition on getting out of that was like, I don't want to do this no more because I see what this shit is causing, and me hearing people telling me like, nah, they gotta do this, they gotta do this, or that person gotta do that. So it's already inside my head, like not saying pimping, but it's like I'm gonna talk you into making you do what I want you to do, or making you give me what I want. Like that was my mindset. Like just, I guess, being a toxic nigga. You know, hindsight is just being that toxic dude who I was.
No, because you were trying to understand. I mean, not understand, but you were trying to just get what you want out of the situation.
Get what I want out of the situation in a negative way, right? In a negative way,
yeah.
like in a sense, I'm not pouring nothing in nobody's cup. Give me all the water. I own this well. Like this water is like, nope, pour it in here. Like, and that was my mindset because that's what I was taught. Like having older cousins and parent, like they telling me, you know, you move like this, but they're in a space where it's bad. So it's like bad people feeding bad people. So it's just like there's no growth in a positive manner. So now when I'm trying to come out of that, I'm coming out of it. But now that manipulation became a routine, and that routine just became like subconscious now. Like I'm not conscious of anything I'm doing, but I'm doing it because of like the routine I've been doing it. So that just turned into other shit. And just like this past, probably like 2 months ago, a month and a half ago, I'm having a conversation with a person, and they telling me like, "Yo, you mad manipulative." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Like what? But how they broke it down, it made so much sense. And it was like, you manipulate people to stay in your life for a certain reason. I'm like, nah, it was never like that. Because that's not me consciously. Now, I don't be like, oh yeah, I'm going to use this motherfucker because of it. Like, I'm trying to be a better person, so I know that's not my mindset. And how she was like breaking it down, she's just like, you manipulated me, and this and that and the third. But in my first thought, I'm really gonna start tweaking, like, what the fuck is you talking about? But I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just hear her out because we was having an honest hour. That was what was happening. You know, just laying shit out, laying shit on the table. But we can both communicate, so it made it so much like better because she knew how to talk. I mean, yeah, shit shut down, but I know her. So I know not to say certain words to trigger her to shut down. So I just let her go. You know, let her go when she go. And she was just saying like, I manipulated her back then and this and that to the third. But when she said it, it made sense because as soon as she said it, I thought about like abandonment issues. Like, I don't want you to leave me. Oh yeah, I fucked up, but I'm gonna fix it. and then when it's fixed, I'm gonna fuck it up again.
Yeah.
And then so it was more like that manipulation, like, no, don't leave me, and then you hear it, then I fuck up. So it was like when she was saying that, I'm like, damn, yo. So now that root comes from me being a kid, that abandonment issues, that manipulation to keep you in my life. Yeah. So I was, and when she said that, it always been in my head, like when I'm talking to a person, like I don't want to manipulate nobody. Like I don't wanna do that.
Yeah, so you use manipulation so that you didn't feel lonely.
Lonely, yes. Subconsciously though.
So-
Like, yeah, I never would even put that shit together if she never even said that. Like I would have never known that. Like, but we had an honest comment, so it was kind of cool. And shit. And that's what I want from like my friends, like people in my life, family, friends, coworkers, whoever. Tell me about me. Like, if you want to see me be a better person, tell me where I'm fucking up at, or what could I do better. Like say checks and balances. Like, tell me, let me know, so I'm not just thinking I'm right all day. I don't want to feel like that, because now people feel like they can't talk to me.
Right.
And they're like, oh, I need to tell him shit. Like,
Yeah, so you want to be able to control all situations.
yes.
You know what I'm saying? For self, yes, for self, but in a good way, not in a way where you're kind of destroying somebody else's world,
Exactly.
and they can't build and create what they need to create.
Right.
So, what do y'all feel like the different degrees of control is as far as the ego or dealing with your true self?
I think it's dealing with the truth. Oh, go ahead.
And then what do you feel like the average person, when it comes to control or having control problems or anything that deals with control, do they work off of their true self, or do they work off of their ego?
I feel like for me, on what you just said, and just looking like broadly, I see it as a self thing. Like the control thing is more self, because like when I was saying with her, like it's the security thing. Like you know what's gonna happen, so you're gonna be in control of the situation. Like just though me dealing with a person a few years ago, it was just more or less like their comfort zone. They're comfortable with a routine, so they're in control of this routine. And if anything fucks up with this routine, it's like, what the fuck? Like so to control with them, I just meshed who they are and who I am, and I fit my way in without compromising who I am. Like I tapped into a different side that I didn't know I had dealing with that person. So
Yeah,
it's more self.
Yeah, I think it's self too, but I also think it's ego too, especially when you're trying to gain something. I feel like that comes from the ego, because it's like you know that you're gonna get it at the end of the day, which is boosting you, which is making you feel that you can keep going about doing this. You know what I'm saying? You can have all the self-control in the world because you have the self-control to determine if you want to do this or not. But it's really I find that people get addicted to controlling manipulation or controlling destiny, because it kind of fuels something in the ego that kind of, what's the hormone? Is it a hormone? Endorphin? One of those that sends those shocks through your body where you start to feel
Dopamine.
dopamine. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like you start to feel like a certain type of pleasure.
Dopamine, yeah. So like in a other sense, when you have an orgasm, that's dopamine.
It gets you to that. Yeah, it gets you to that high. So it's like, that's why I feel like control is an addictive. It's an addictive trait. It's a drug.
Yeah, I think too. When you're talking about through the ego and control, I think a lot of the times, self creates the ego. You see what I'm saying? And it helps you perceive how other people perceive you. So, with that being said, it's like, say a situation like your ex-girlfriend or ex-boyfriend cheated on you, and you understand that pain, that when you went through that experience, and your ego is telling you, yo, I'm not going through that experience again.
Right.
So you might deal with somebody and they might be good, and your ego will kick in like, nah, I gotta control the way the situation move because I don't want to be,
Feeling like how I
yeah, I
feel.
mean, thrown out in the ocean like I was before. Because I
Yeah.
wasn't in control of that situation before, so now I gotta be in control of that now.
But what made you not control in a previous situation could have been you being so vulnerable. You're not trying to be in control. You're just being free and vulnerable. And then once you become vulnerable, it's like you get stabbed. Now you like, nah, I ain't gonna do that shit again.
But that's what I
Because
said,
that was
it's
me.
addictive.
Right.
So like those people that look for, like those people that are in that state of addictiveness of being in control and being like that, they seek, it's like a shark when it knows that this is not a fish.
Right.
You know what I'm
Yo, I
saying?
read a book.
You're in my habitat now.
I read a book the one time they was talking about ones that want to be victims become victims. You know what I mean?
What book
Like-
is that? I like that.
Man, which one was it called? Damn, bro, what book was that, bro? Remember the book I was telling you about a couple months ago? You know, talking about don't assume and all of that?
But that black book, the dude wrote.
Nah, not the black book. What's that book called? No, it wasn't like something circles of I can't remember. Oh well, I ain't giving out no free advertisement anymore. They don't even matter. You know what I mean? I just got to figure it out because if I ain't write it, I ain't getting paid for it. So you know what I mean?
But
I don't know, control is, like you said, like an addictive thing, and you just have to find the indicators where you see yourself trying to be in control of a situation, and then hold yourself accountable and change it for the positive. I mean, if you see you doing something, negative in a controlling manner, change it.
And I think that people, if you the person of that set ability, you will get that control from the people. You know what I mean? It's gonna be a more organic transition for you to have that control rather than you striving to take control of a situation. You know what I mean? Leaders is not someone that you can't just be a leader and say, I'm gonna lead everybody. You know what I mean? The people have to make you a leader. A king just doesn't take over the kingdom and say, I'm gonna rule, because you're gonna have the dissatisfied. You know what I mean? You have to be appointed that position in order to lead it successfully. Alright.
I agree with that.
For sure, this is the gift of G.A.B, son. Look, birds fly high. You know what I mean? The trees stand tall. G.A.B, peace.
Peace.
peace.